I wanted to make movies as a kid, and so after I stepped away from chess, I wanted to, make something. I've always loved like the weird, like scary type, like object or like a little puppet or a creature, and it's like either scaring, maybe killing people, or doing his own little thing. And I loved Goosebumps growing up. I loved Slappy. I liked Dead Silence, or Puppet Master with all those toys. Those are all great. Or demonic toys, or Gremlins, or Toys in the Attic. Those are all great films. Love those. And so I wanted to make some sort of like scary, I don't know, clown puppet. You are the star. You are the star.
You're the star of the podcast.
Yeah.
Chris, tell the world about you.
Well, I guess I grew up in Spokane my whole life.
Local Spokal?
Yep, worked, went to high school. I make films now. Used to do chess for over a decade locally, running tournaments and stuff for kids. Now been working on film stuff, which is great. So that's a new adventure. Stepping away from chess was kind of hard. Did that for so long. And then just basically that's it, really. Just chess and movie stuff.
All right. My sister is the director of Omi Gardens, and I suggested that they do a chess tournament there. And they
How does that work? How would it work there? Do they have tables? Or
no, they've never done this. So they were stewing different things because different things happen there at this location, this garden. And I was like, yeah, maybe you should do a chess tournament. So how would you run a chess tournament?
Typically, like if you just do like a non-rated one, you could easily do it like single elimination, or there's this program you could get called Swiss Sis. You gotta pay for it to like does like the round robin thing for you, and it shows like the name. You can show like a grade or the age or the rating of the person, and it just does like a round robin thing where like the top and the low play, and then just kind of goes slower as like it gets who you play throughout, and it goes down the board if you're doing it round robin or Swiss. But like a bracket style is pretty easy. You just gotta put the names and all the names on each side, and just like basketball. Yeah, and then you would get boards, clocks, determine a time control. And then how many rounds you want. Typically you want like 4, 5. And then a good time is like, if you're doing a short term, like time, probably like 5-10 minutes. Or people want it quicker. They want 3 minutes. A lot of like big world tournaments, they do like blitz and rapid. So it's like some games could be like 3 minutes. And every time you move, it's like you get added 2 seconds. So it's like if you're losing time, you're like last 10, 15 seconds, you could crank it out and get like a whole minute. I mean, unrealistically, but you could like crank it out. Most like average tournaments are like an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours long each game. And there's obviously intermission between games, and then breaks for like dinner or lunch, and then resuming later on. Or it's a 2-day thing. It's like most of the time it's like 3 or 4 games on a Saturday, and then a Sunday 2 to 3. And like whatever award ceremony in the evening, or if it's just a day, then it's like most local Celeste tournaments are like one day, start at 10, end at 4. So it's like they get 5 games, and they play like 25-minute time control, and then every time you move, you get delayed 15 seconds. So it's like before your time starts, you get like 1, 2. They get to delay 5, not 15. Sorry, delay 5. So it's like you say you move, white moves first. You press the clock, and it goes to them. And then they can count to like on the clock it shows the same time they started with, and it goes down to 5, and then your time starts. It's just supposed to have the player think longer before they make their move or lose time, because you're not gaining time. It's just a delay of time. Yeah. So you need clocks, figure out the time control, some sort of like registration system. I mean, most tournaments that are like for like all ages and they're non-rated doesn't really matter, but we're doing rated tournaments that does matter because then all these people have to have memberships with like the USCF, United States Chess Federation, and they sometimes they'll have a rating, sometimes they won't. So if it's like their first tournament, they'll be like unrated, and they'll probably play like in the lower end of the bracket. And then sometimes most of the time it's like money prizes for like those, depending on like what the entry fee is, and like with Scholastic, it's always trophies typically, depending on if it's like local, state, or national or international level. Yeah, so then you just do all that, probably promote it and see what happens. That's how you would run a tournament typically. If you work with like a local school or like a state-run thing, or you're doing stuff with like a local club, like the great club we have in town, Spokane Chess Club or Blitz and Blunders. It's a both separate, but the Blitz and Blunders is a social bar or like kind of like a more family-friendly club that goes around to like bars and schools, or the Spark Central Center. And then Spokane Chess Club, they usually meet like Thursday nights at West Central Abbey. Those are probably the two prominent like social clubs we have in town. And then Inland Chess Academies there is the strong Scholastic group in town that does like tournaments every other weekend on a Saturday during the summer. They have camps. And then like the high school league, which I used to run, they usually do like 3 tournaments a year. So it's like the GSL, like typically what high school or middle school uses for like sports. Same kind of format, but it's more of like a fall and winter sport. They do only 3 tournaments a year. It's the GSL team. So it's like the best teams from like each school, like 3 to 5 players, and they play against other schools to see which school has the strongest team. Or they do like the GSL individual, and that's find the best player among the high school or middle school kids in each of their school. And then all schools are invited. Typically both of those are Spokane County only when I used to run those. And then a new tournament we've done 3 times now, or twice, I can't remember. It's called Eastern Washington High School and Middle School Chess Championship, and I had the idea of like doing that over here to like branch out to the other like counties locally to like make a huge chess tournament so these kids can qualify, high school kids can qualify to go to state over in Tacoma or Bellevue or over there to play against their kids over there to qualify for that, because there's never been a qualifier over here for that. Maybe like early 2000s when like a really strong player, Kurt Collier, he was a strong player from Gonzaga Prep. I think he's retired now. He was a national master or FIDE master for a long time. Strong player, 2300. So then that's the only tournament that does that. The GSL team doesn't do that. It's its own little thing. It's just the local schools in the county. And then if kids want to go further out, or the school wants to go further out to cause them trouble on the west side of the pier, they could go play over there. And that's basically just the chess scene in town. And that's how you run tournaments, probably, I would say. And if you run them like real adult tournaments and stuff like that, you'd need to be like certified for that. It's called a USCF Club Tournament Director. You could easily just apply for that first 3 years for free, and then you got to take this test, and then just run a bunch of them, and you could move up. Yeah.
Okay, and that's through an association.
Yeah, US Chess. They were here in town in December. They ran the national K through 12 chess tournament. Never happened before. So it was cool to see like the top dogs of chess in the United States come here. Why would they come here during December when most kids, they usually pull around 2,000 kids, maybe 1,800 across the United States to play in this tournament. They couldn't even get 1,300, maybe 1,400. And most of the kids that go are from like either Florida, New York. So most of the kids that usually go didn't go because it's like, why go to a cold place when it's like when it's cold, when you're traveling for like a fun thing for your family or to play chess.
Yeah, why come to here?
Yeah, so they did it here and it was great. I worked that event. It was fun. got a amount of money from working that. Met some cool people, and worked some people that I've known before. Being in it for like so long, 10, 11 years. And seeing the magnitude of like what they do and like the machine they are. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Seeing like all the boards they have, they're selling all these like masters coming out and stuff. I mean, I've been around masters before, and like grand masters too, but not to that scale. Yeah, that was really cool.
So what if you're just like you just want to start a private tournament, like Manitou, like say like Manitou?
Yeah, social's fine. No one will get like ratings or anything.
Yeah, a non-rated.
Yeah, it'd be like casual
tournament, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Anybody could do that. You don't need anything to do, and you don't need any certifications for that. If you could figure out how you could run the tournament to like a bracket or use a sort of like online website program, you're fine. But like if you're doing like a Scholastic tournament for like kids for trophies or like a school like an in-house school thing or like working with CUSCF to do like a big tournament, you gotta be certified for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my thought, because at first, because she runs this garden and my sister and I thought, well, we could do Magic the Gathering.
Well, not Pokemon. Pokemon's getting so big.
Well, we looked into that, and that the problem is the cards. And
well, they do a lot of stuff like at Northtown Mall. They always have tournaments going on there all the time, and there's like always like a good amount of people, like 20 to 100 people that fit in that back room somehow.
So then okay, I'm speculating if I was to get around the whole, you make all the cards the same, everyone gets the same batch of cards kind of a thing.
Okay.
Right. There's no special card that's worth X number of dollars in real life that someone can pull out and
right. Yeah.
So how would you run a Pokemon tournament?
I don't know. Never did any of that. It's just I assume there's like this. Yeah, the TGG, the trading card game. Yeah, they have their own format they use online. So you like register, and then like whenever you do tournaments, the host sets it up through that site, and then you either like sign up, I assume like a QR code, or just go up to the site, or just do it there, and the people do it for you, and you get like a rating sort of number through their system. And then, yeah, I've been there before with a friend, my best friend Dakota, who's big into Pokemon. We went to one like 2 years ago, and very similar thing, very similar to chess-ish. Like you get your own rating. There's like the standings, the pairings, like where you're gonna go, where you're gonna sit. Most of the time it's not where you sit. They'll just you'll just team up. You'll be in this section, this one. Just gotta find a spot. But with Magic the Gathering, the Pokemon stuff, yeah, it's a similar thing. You get like some sort of kind of rating, and it's by age. Sometimes it can be by age group, but I don't think they do that there. I think it's just by the rating they have into the system, what you have, and I don't think I don't know if it's by. I don't think it could be by card. Maybe these players who play have databases online of their own accounts of what cards they have, but I don't know about that. But I know for sure, like individual people who have their accounts, their name, info, and all that stuff, they have their own number. Some sort of rating, that you could play like against high level people. I've seen it. So, like it's these standings, these kids play, and then you look at the names, and it's like Johnny versus Timmy, and it's like they have their own like rating on each side, and they team up and they play against each other, and then the next round when it's over, Billy will play lower or higher, or Timmy will play lower or higher, based on the amount of like 1.2 point wins. So it's like, I don't know if you could draw, but if it's like win or loss, like if you win, you're definitely going to go up to play someone higher. Similar, I assume like score as because when you start out, you have nothing. Just like chess. If you're playing in a tournament, if you're going up, a win is a 1 point, a loss is nothing. If you're going to draw, it's 0.5. So probably a very similar thing to, card game tournaments. They do a similar kind of format of like, okay, this kid beat this one adult and he gets a point, or however that ratio is out with the rating system they have set. So
or you could bracket them by age.
Yeah, I'm sure they do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a similar thing. Yeah, but if it's like non-rated, yeah, you can just do it on your own. I mean, it's not hard. You could just, find it online. You could do a round robin. I'm sure there's a website that could do that, and you could just put in the names, set up the tables, each round, like, hey, who's playing who? They got to come to the person who's tallying the results and then putting it into the computer or your phone to make sure everything's accurate. You always want to verify the score with both players. So it's like, it's always important too, if you're watching these chess players play chess, is having people monitor the games as well. Like tournament judges. I was one of those. Because like, let's say for example, this one kid who's like 10 and this one kid's like 16. They finish their game, they put away their board. One of them comes up to the booth and says, hey, I won the game. So that person already verified it. Like, okay, he won the game. Then his friend, the person he just played, comes up and goes, hey, I just won the game. And they both say the name of the board they're at, the number of the board they're at. And she's like, oh, but this one player said that. So then you need to have both players there to verify it. Because if one player does and the other, then there could be, cheating. And so it's important to have those tournament judges on the floor watching those go on. Because then if that tournament judge saw who truly won, then the person in that booth or the table can be like, hey, can I have one of you guys come over? Did you guys watch this? I'm sure someone did. So they can verify what's even true of what the both players said. I mean, I'm sure there's some truth, obviously, to what the both players said, because obviously they both want to win. But like, what truly happened, And also, they're required to notate. So, like in those big USCF tournaments or some certain level of scholastic tournaments, you're required to notate every single move of the game. So it's like, you move your pawn to the center of the board, you're white, E4. You write down E4. Player moves D5, D5, and then you move. Okay, pawn takes pawn. You write E takes D5. You write that. You got to write every single move down so you could track. Who really won. And most of the time, for big tournaments, players are required to sign it. So, they trade papers, and then, boom, he signs, give it back, and then you give it back. I mean, so there's some level of verification at least with that stuff, because it could be tricky. And then, all the cheating stuff with like top level, crazy stuff. I'm sure you've heard some sorts. Like this guy, Hans Niemann, doing this crazy potential thing.
I've heard some stories of like Magnus Carlsen, and when he was like about to play some guy, and the guy like showed up late, and he kept showing up late, and just to add pressure.
Who knows? I mean, he's always. It's funny seeing him. I mean, yeah, he's undisputably the best player to ever play chess. I mean, Bobby Fischer or Kasparov or Karpov, but. No, it's definitely Magnus for sure. And yeah, it's funny watching him like get late, and it's like not even the long games. It's like the 3-minute games. He's showing up like late, 30 seconds on the clock, and then just cooks them. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's some level of like some kind of disrespect, but he cooked.
Yeah.
It's his time. He could do whatever he wants with it. You could, be all mad you want. He didn't show up on time. I get that. Respectable, but if he's, you got to wait for him the whole game. So if he doesn't show up, and then you win the game, by forfeit. You don't get any rating points or anything. It varies on, like, the rating, another rating of the time control. So, like, 3 minute doesn't show up, yeah, you got to wait the whole time, because that's a quick time. But like certain time controls that are longer, like an hour and a half, there's a buffer time when you could wait. Like, let's say like he didn't show up, you can wait 15 minutes. I don't know the exact rule, but it's like, 15 minutes into the game, doesn't show up, the judges or the arbiters can come in and be like, hey, if you're approached by the chess player, he comes up to you, he's like, yeah, he didn't come. Do I want me to wait my whole game? And then the arbiters can just call it right there. Stuff like that. But it's like longer time controls. But the shorter ones, they could, have to wait the whole time because it could be any second. Could be the first round, last round, doesn't matter. And most of those longer tournaments that have like short time controls, there are a lot of games, like 7, 12 games probably. So they're playing like the whole day. And it's always so funny seeing him late and then he's still doing his best. But there was like a crazy controversy like in 2022 or 2023 when the FIDE, the World Chess Organization, was in New York. I think they were here before that, and probably like in, who knows, when the World Chess Championship was here, like in the 90s when Garry Kasparov played. But yeah, he there was some big ordeal of like him doing some kind of deal for like a new format of a tournament for like Fischer Random. So Fischer Random or Chess 960 is like the back end of the pieces, like the knights and the king and the rooks and the other pieces, they're all shuffled and they mirror the other side. So then like if your rook is here, he's here, and then you got to mirror that from that board, and you just play regular chess. It just randomizes the back end of the board. Same rules apply with like castling or en passant, all the same. Pawns are still in the front, that doesn't change. And so that's his like new thing. Chess 960 or freeway chess. That's what they're doing. He showed up late one game, and he showed up in jeans. Apparently it was a big deal, and he wasn't allowed to play, and they withdrew him from the tournament. He blew up on like social media, and because like you see these other players, wearing suits or because they have some sort of like level of like dress code, decorum and dress code, and you see these other players at other tournaments doing the same thing. But like, what's different from like those guys? They're still wearing jeans or not wearing, dress shoes or wearing sneakers, But like, what's so prominent about this tournament when other tournaments in the past year, they don't have the same standards, so it's weird. And then he finishes the tournament, and then even weirder towards I think he sold those pants online or something, and then he kind of mocked FIDE and made his own pants and sold them with like a logo of his name on the back of the pants.
Great
and
fame. You sell pants.
And then and then he would have like stickers, of like instead of like the Wangler logo, it's like Magnus logo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like so funny. And so towards the end of the tournament, it was the World Blitzen Rapid tournament, and it was in New York. And so towards the end, he's playing Jan Novochevy. He's some player from Russia, but he's registered with FIDE as like his primary like country, because there's like Russian players can't play right now. There's some weird thing going on with that, but they like are playing round after round. They kept drawing, so there's like no winner. So then like they're playing tons of games, or like, so he makes a call. They don't play. They stop playing. Some sort of like call they make, and they become co-champions. So they don't have to keep playing, because the format is like stupid, where you have to keep playing games over and over to like see who wins, but they kept drawing, so no one won. And
way to hack the system.
It's wild. So then like
Wow.
Both of them they were co-champions, never before. And it was like just heavily like, what the heck are they doing? It was weird. But being around chess for so long and being a player, I'm not that great of a player. I'm like 1500 maybe. Good day I could probably be to 1800, but so it's like an average class player. Doing for so long, it's just meeting all these cool people and playing a master in a tournament, or playing a grandmaster in a quick blitz game. Good experiences doing all that stuff. Brought the chess tables at Riverfront Park next to the Red Wagon was great. Running tournaments, donating all my sets away. Didn't want any money back. I donated all of them.
Oh, they're all gone?
They're all gone. I had like 50, 60 boards. I got rid of them all. Gave them to schools, clubs.
You could have been a chess tournament director.
No, you?
No, you could have been.
No, I was. I was for a long time, for like 3 or 4 years. So I just, I was done, and I wanted, a huge part of my young adult life. That's all I did from middle school through high school, and then in my early 20s, So I'm done. I did it for so long.
Just gave it up, huh?
Yeah, I think it was time.
I feel you.
Yeah, and
sometimes you grow out of it. It's just like when I did Fun Flicks. I mean, I can only do it for so long, and then it's like...
Yeah, I could go back probably when I'm a lot older, when I'm way older, because I'm so done with chess right now. I mean, it's so cool. I watched the drama online with like world chess, like fame stuff, but I still play casual game. I'll never say no to playing a game, but tournament stuff, running them, making programs, no, I did done all of that, Had a program for the juvie, for the town, had a program with the Y, did a program with the police department, So I've done everything I've wanted, and I made a good impact, I thought. And, knowing the people I've met, and yeah, and that's what kind of drove me to an earlier age thing that I really loved, movies. So as a kid, I would, watch a lot and almost no filter. My parents weren't a lot in the picture growing up as a kid. My mom was an addict, and so was my dad. And so then I got big into movie stuff, and that's what kind of pushed me to do what I do now.
Well, dang, you overcame a lot of adversity then.
Yeah.
Are your mom and dad doing okay?
So my biological mom, she passed away when I was like 10. Didn't know her because my dad got custody of her like early on. And then, yeah, my dad's good. He doesn't do drugs or anything like that. He's doing good. He was like a pastor for kids when I was younger. Good turnaround. He's doing good. He just sold his house and then, figuring out what he's going to do next. And then, yeah, my stepmom's doing good with my siblings and stuff. But, yeah, my biological mom and my bio dad, they never married, and, they did drugs when I was younger. But, good turnaround for my dad. Love him, very proud of him. And then my mom just made bad choices and just kept that lifestyle. So it's unfortunate, but she was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was mainly my childhood, and I lived with my grandparents, and my dad. Treated me great, loved all of them. Family's great. Have a good relationship with my grandpa. He served in the Navy. Family grew up, an Italian household. Always pasta, always talking about stuff. Big gathering with family is always a big gatherings,
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, all the siblings, It was always good growing up as a kid, and then, high school, middle school was fine. Had a good middle school experience. That's where I, discovered chess. Through this guy named Kevin Masteller. He would, bring a board to, summer school, and then, kids would play, and we wanted to make it a club the following year, and it just blew up and, got really good, and we went to state in Tacoma, and it was a lot of fun. And then high school, most of high school, I was probably in the top 5 best player, high school kids for a while. And then before COVID, I was the second best in the city. It was that tournament was fun. That I played in for that. That was my junior year. And then COVID hit, so I couldn't go to school physically.
Yeah,
Can't play over the board tournament stuff. So most of the high school activities for chess were all online.
Yeah.
Even though I went to state for chess during that time period, it was all online. I don't remember how well I did, but I know I placed 50 something out of whatever hundreds of people.
That's not bad.
In the section I was in.
If you're in the top 100.
Yeah, it was fun. I was all online. And then they do this rating, top 10 best players of each grade every year, and somehow I made number 10. So that was cool for the state for my senior year. And then, I was class president, Shadow Park High School, that's where I went, alumni there. Did DECA, did that, went to state nationals. Well, I was a mascot for a year.
Oh, cool, you were a mascot.
Kind of. It was my junior year, did a couple games, trying to revise the mascot because you never hardly saw it. So,
yeah.
Big into school spirit, and that was fun. Wearing that was hot, sucked. And then, I did theater, did that. Wasn't really big into it. And then, somehow we got away with shooting films as a side project for the theater, and we got credit. So those are somewhere online.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like really weird ones, but like with goblins and like weird commercials. They were fun. Yeah, and then graduated high school, worked at Subway for a period, and then I worked at the mall, Northtown Mall. And then I worked security for like 3 years. So I worked at all the malls in town. So I know all the bits and pieces what goes on there when I worked there. That was like 2021 to like 2024. During that time is when I worked at all the malls and other places in town.
Man, the malls are dead.
You know, I think the best mall to go to is actually the Valley one.
Yeah,
in town.
I agree.
It's better. It's more vibrant. It's more of a destination mall. So it's like you don't get all the mall and the mall rats or the street kids, and less homeless. You know, it's more of like a destination mall. It's more around highways.
Yeah.
So then the bus still goes out there, but that's like really inconvenient for the homeless and where the main hub is. You know, the SDA is downtown. It's like an hour to get out there. So these homeless people are not going to go there. So then most of the people that go to the Valley Mall are like, families and Silver Spoon Valley kids that go. So, and then Northtown Mall. Yeah, I was there when they were going to do some big change. They were like figuring out to get Dave & Buster's. They were they were trying to figure out what they can do with Sears. Nothing. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do now. And then they now have like a furniture store. I don't know how I was going to save them all. I think they're just getting money and somehow just like making it longer. And then like the spaces are so expensive. I don't understand how these like small businesses are surviving. They're not. They're in there for like 3-6 months and they're gone. And there's like a new space, or they're empty, or they shuffle around to a different space, in the mall. So I don't understand how they're staying alive. Yeah. And then, I know some people that have like, they rent spaces in the basement for like movie stuff. Because there's a long-term goal there that they're going to try to do something with that.
Yeah.
With the film community.
Guys.
Yeah. They're called We Few. Yeah, we filmmakers of, yeah, that's how I got involved with movie stuff. And yeah, they want to do something down there. I know what they want to do. I'm not going to disclose that, but, there's something there. But yeah, so Bumpers is down there, they're doing stuff down there. They just shot a movie down there called Buzzkill. Some local guy got like a grant and he shot like a movie down there for Screambox. It's like a big horror thriller platform. Yeah, and so all the malls are really interesting. I don't understand why Northtown is still. The only thing that could really truly save them all is either like, sounds wild, but destroying the whole property, keeping the garage and making it into a really big apartment complex, or some sort of like huge event venue, like a mini casino or like a triple play or something.
That wouldn't save them all. That's destroy them all.
It would destroy it would destroy them all. Yeah, it wouldn't save them all. It would just change it completely differently.
So try to make it something profitable.
Something profitable, yeah. That's probably a better way. And then probably, yeah, they would have to do something with Sears, put something in there. But from what I remember was, since Sears went out of business, and I like Spirit Halloween or Halloween Express, they could temporarily rent the space, but no long-term spaces could be used because it's grandfathered in. So like anything that needs to go in there before like a long-term space, they need to update everything to code, fix everything, And I assume everything's not, because it's Sears. It's been there empty for, almost 10 years now. Went away like 2019, 2018. So I don't know what their plan is. So only temporary spaces can go in there, unless the policy's changed or they're doing something. But that's my knowledge from what I used to know when I worked there like 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the downtown mall, I like it. I don't mind it. I hardly see any homeless in the mall, really. I love going to the theater, of course. Yeah. I've probably been there the past 2 months, probably like 11 times. Most have ever been to the theater. Right. Yeah.
And that is quite a high frequency.
Yeah, I've been there multiple times. I've seen 3 movies double. Oh, okay. I saw Obsession twice. I saw Odyssey twice, and I saw Pinocchio Unstrung twice. So that's 6. And then other movies I saw were like
you just back to back.
Well, you pay for if you pay for like the really cheap $20 whatever dollars a month, you could see 4 movies a week. So yeah, I've seen those. I've seen Jackass. Was it Jackass 5? Best and Last. That one's great. I saw Supergirl. It was all right. And then I saw Toy Story 5. That was a great movie.
Yeah, I bet.
It was great. Yeah, there wasn't. I think they're probably going to do another one to knock out like a Bonnie trilogy of the 3, And then I saw Evil Dead Burn. That was good. What else did I see? Oh, I saw Young Washington. Solid, great period piece. I saw it opening day, July 3rd. It was a packed theater. I was surpised. For being an Angel Studios film, and
they said
had some big actors in it. Had Kingsley, Andy Serkis. So some big actors somehow in it, and it was a great movie.
Well, you've inspired me now to want to go there and buy one ticket and hang out for 3 movies. I used to do that when I
had done that before a couple of years ago. We would do those like double feature stuff.
Just buy one and hang out for the rest of them. But yeah, so Odyssey, that's cool, and Young Washington and Toy Story 5. Those 3 are the ones I'm interested in.
Yeah, they're great. Toy Story's still going. Odyssey was great. I mean, even now, if you go, I'm sure the theater's probably packed. So you'll probably get like a okay.
No shit, really?
Yeah, when I went last Tuesday, theater's packed, like shoulder to shoulder.
Damn.
Yeah, in IMAX. So it's like that's the only format you have to see it in. You can't see it in digital because they'll crop out something, and it won't be, because Christopher Nolan said he wants you to feel the movie. That's why I highly emphasize like people going to theaters instead of staying home. Streaming is great. It's really convenient. It's right there. You're home. You're the most comfortable you can be because you are home. Mm-hmm. You can do whatever you want, any format you want. But there's something really different about the theater experience because you're a crowd of people you don't even know, besides maybe a friend or going with a group, in a mildly comfortable seat, watching the most beautiful huge screen. IMAX is like probably the best format you could watch a movie on, because on film, which IMAX is, the film is 3 times the sharper of an image than digital. So you're going to be something you see way clearer. And then the crop format, depending on what it is, if it's 35 mil or 65 or 75 millimeter. Typically it's 35 most theaters. It'll still look really great. Or if it's IMAX, the ratio aspect is different. And then the surround sound of the theaters, it's different. Like the Dolby and the Panamax stuff, it changes it. Makes it seem more immersing. And then how the people react to certain things that happen on the screen. Or like if you're laughing, you're crying, everyone's scared. You're like everyone's feeling the community feeling of being involved in something so cool in a theater. And I don't get why people don't go to the theater as much because it's a great experience. You might sometimes there could be no one in the theater, just you, or it could be a really big hyped up movie or a movie that's doing really well in the theaters. And like well maybe I should go, and you go, and it's like. Now you understand why some people are like they don't like it and they love it, or they don't like it and they hate it. So it's like it's just like so many people and it's like packed. Yeah, opening day.
Well, that's really good news because it's interesting the whole world of the theaters because I've studied this. I've made money off of it. I remember Warren Buffett talking about it when I was a kid. He said, "I like." Candy bars and movie theaters because they're recession proof and depression proof, and this theater is still kicking.
Oh yeah, it's coming back for sure.
It's just what's changed is Hollywood has changed.
Yeah,
and Hollywood was just pumping out shit, just pump out shit.
Well, there's still some that are just garbage.
And then you got that mixed with high price per ticket. At the theater.
Yeah, like $20.
Yeah, that's expensive if you're going with the family.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if you do like because that's what I pay for, like the membership thing. Even if you do like the bottom tier list that's free, you can get 50% off tickets on like 2 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday. But yeah, with going to theaters was like one of my favorite experiences because like you're so immersed, you see an amazing movie, and it's great. I saw the Odyssey opening night. It was packed. Like I saw people who bought tickets for like the disabled seats, where you're in a wheelchair. They brought their own chairs, like foldable chairs, and they sat there. It was crazy. I've never seen that before. So like these people who are like dogging on the movie because they're mixed of like the historical inaccuracy or the casting decisions, they shouldn't get over that and watch the movie because it's honestly great. It's a story that was really well done. There are certain aspects of the story you just can't really make on film. It's not even a true story. It's a mythological. It's a poem. It's a book. And they're, bitching about making a true adaptation of something that wasn't even true. All these nerds on Facebook or Instagram, hating people who just hate it. They're hating to hate. They're not hating. These people mostly never even saw it. They're just like getting these garbage reviews they somehow trust online, or say like Rotten Tomatoes, or like certain critics are like awfully, horribly wrong, or like even if you like go towards like the Rotten Tomato score, okay, 94%, cool. Those are critics. But if you go to the fan meter, popcorn meter, it's like 97%. So it's like, so you're gonna like distrust that one tomato meter, but how about the other when it's just fans? It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. I saw it twice.
Well, I want to see it now. I've
highly recommend it.
People that I have talked to who have said that they have seen it say what you say.
Yeah.
And the people who talk shit, and believe me, there's a lot of people who talk shit.
Yeah.
They've never seen it.
Of course.
And I want to see the Washington one. Washington.
I think they might. I don't know if they're doing it. They did like a special event one. Like they had like two more screenings of it like last month, or late this month. But I don't think it's there in theaters now. You'll have to wait till it's streaming probably. Yeah, it was worth it watching it in the theater though. It was weird to see like a packed theater for like a historical, kind of almost controversial figure of like American history, and yeah, they're already going to do another one, that same actor. So, and that was filmed like 2 years ago.
And what's also crazy is how back when how one technology affects another. So the television, right? So back when we were all on cable, we knew what films were in theater.
Right.
Because it was just constant.
Or you're going through like the newspaper or the phone book.
Yeah, and the newspaper. I remember that too.
Yeah, I did too because growing up,
yeah.
I'm 23 now.
It's just crazy how much technology changed.
Yeah, I had no phone basically growing up as a kid. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I'm 23 now. I had no phone growing up until I was like a mid-teen, really, middle school. And so if I wanted to go to the theater, it was either word of mouth at school, looking it up on the computer, or reading it through the newspaper, or seeing it on the TV, what's coming out. It's wild. So the promotional aspect has changed a lot. Mm-hmm. Obviously. They're doing budgets just for that.
Yeah, the only way I know something is coming out is if I see it on Facebook.
Yeah, it's either Facebook or Instagram is mainly what I see. Or, going to the theater, sometimes they'll release trailers they don't put online. And that's cool. Like when I went to go see the scary Pinocchio movie, Pinocchio Unstrung, there was a lot of like weird film festival movie theaters that are coming to theaters. Like Victorian Psycho. It's like American Psycho, but like Victorian version. Mm. It doesn't look bad. And then there's like a bunch of like Korean movies that are like all zombie based. And it looks gnarly. And it looks decent, it looks good. So there's definitely like some cool stuff with that. With like hearing about where movies are being made or what's coming out, just either most of it's now it's all online or, word of mouth. So.
Which makes me think, like, what is the future of movies and cinema? I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah, most likely not.
Yeah, I think
and it probably never will.
And it's just different mediums. It's just a different medium of showing it. And I agree that going to a theater is a unique experience because the first thing because you're immersed in dark. And it's not like an outdoor theater. Because outdoor movies, while that's a really cool experience, and we could talk about that forever, but when you walk into a movie theater, you're immersed in the dark.
Yeah, and then you're like all these seats with these random people in like this amazing like system around you to like, you know, either terrify you or make you happy or laugh really hard, piss yourself. I mean, it's just, it's surrounded with the surround sound. Yeah, you can try to do that at home or make it look good, but most of the time it's not going to be the same. The bar's too low. Yeah, you can do a dark room at home. You could have an in-home theater, kind of like a room, like your living room, and try to make it like that, or try to do your own little version of a projector. But it's going to be nothing like a theater. Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Unless you're like extremely rich, but like average folk like us, you're screwed. There's no way. You need to go to a theater. Just go to the theater and watch any movie you want to watch.
Yeah, have you been to Broadway stuff?
No, I've never been.
Oh man, you should check that out.
I want to, but every time I want to go, tickets are like so expensive.
They're stupid expensive.
It was like 2-3 years ago. I wanted to go see Hamilton. I loved the.
Oh, Hamilton is the one that's stupid expensive.
Oh, it's like so much. Expensive. Yeah, I almost bought a ticket for that, but it was just so much. And then there was that one recently that came out called Hand of God, or.
Oh yeah,
with puppets. That looked good.
That was at. Or what? The Hamilton Theater.
Oh, that wasn't Broadway.
No, that's not Broadway.
Okay.
I mean, they aren't Broadway, but that'd be something though.
Man, yeah, I almost saw the Book of Mormon too. That one looked good, but there wasn't any other. If they did like a pirate one or like another like Peter Pan or I don't know, something like Shrek again, I'd like to see that. Mm-hmm. Something like I don't know, I'd like to see that. But most of those like plays, I'm like, no, I'm good. So.
Well, the Hand of God one, I'm glad you brought that up because that is a unique type of puppeteering.
Yeah, didn't some puppets have like boobs and stuff? They're like bowed and like some like.
From what I was watching it, and I'm not gonna like knock their art. They seem like they're talented puppeteers and they're doing what they do. I believe in just getting out of the shot altogether. They're in the shot. That's what they're doing. So their whole thing is about like, it's kind of a funny premise. The whole show is kind of a funny premise, and I was watching it online. I haven't physically been there, but.
It's online now?
Yeah.
Nice.
You can go on YouTube and watch it.
Oh, cool. Nice. Nice.
And in fact, apparently it's like a common play.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But their puppeteers are you see the people and they're just talking with the puppet. Just kind of like, but you can see them. I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like more of the not seeing the puppeteer.
Yeah, because it creates the illusion of like, oh yeah, it's just the puppet. Mm-hmm. Where's the human? So it's like they're their own thing. So its own character and role, and he's a person. He's the role, not the person you obviously see controlling it. Takes away the magical aspect of it. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, it's instant animatics. Is what I was reading. And in this book, it's called The Design of Storytelling, which is a really good book. And it goes into all these different setups of anger plus like guilt equals whatever, resentment, or joy plus anticipation equals whatever feeling.
Right.
Right. And so that was a really good book, and they talked about how puppets are instant animatics. They are. They talk about animations. They're instant animatics. So, and with that, you have an animation, and then you can start using your voice in doing the voice acting and stuff.
Right. Yeah. That's great.
Do you have any voices you can do?
Probably no.
No.
No. Well, do you want to get into my movie and we can get into that when it's down there?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to make movies as a kid, and so after I stepped away from chess, I wanted to make something. I've always loved like the weird, like scary type like object or like a little puppet or a creature, and it's like either scaring, maybe killing people, or doing his own little thing. And I loved Goosebumps growing up. I loved Slappy. I liked Dead Silence, or Puppet Master with all those toys. Those are all great. Or demonic toys, or Gremlins, or Toys in the Attic. Those are all great films. Love those. And so I wanted to make some sort of like scary, I don't know, clown puppet that like does some sort of like children's show. And somehow he like goes away after a period, and then his show reappears in physical media. Not a DVD or on streaming, but a VHS, So there's some sort of like, why is it on this? So like I wanted to do something with that, and filming it was great. It was awesome to have you as a puppeteer and get to meet the puppet. And so back to the question of, you said about the
Well, I asked about voice acting.
So the voice acting. So yes. So when I was casting,
Yeah.
the 4 leads, all great people. Did a great job on production, and so finding the right voice for the puppet was hard. So the puppet's name is Dot.
Yeah. In fact, keep talking. I'm gonna
Go bring him out. So his name is Dot, and I went through around 6 people, and I still couldn't find anybody. So at one point, I was possibly gonna voice him, and I'll say one of his lines. You are the star. Yeah. So, Dot. This is who he is, and he was great.
There's Dot, everybody. Yeah, they can see him.
Cool.
He's in there.
Where am I gonna hold him?
Well, whenever you can go.
Okay.
Back. But yeah, there's Dot. I mean, as soon as I went over to grab him, I thought, oh yeah, this is kind of like,
you are the star.
You're the star of the podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast. You creeped it up already. You made it creepy. Thank you, Dot.
Yeah. So I had a hard time casting. I went through a bunch of people to cast the puppet, and I was actually going to go the route to where I was going to voice him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But the guy we got, Ben. He is perfect. Mm-hmm. He does the great mannerisms of like when he's talking all like child friendly and whimsical, and then going straight to demonic, like, you are the star. So when he does that version of like what I spoke, he does it perfect, just how I envisioned the puppet. So how it happened was, I was trying to figure out what I want to do, want to write, so I just started writing. I tried my best to stay away from AI writing it, and just my head and ideas, and so I kind of it's like some ideas I pulled from like The Ring, physical media, Haunting, or like It, and Goosebumps, of course, and so then, my idea was originally supposed to be like a small little limited series TV show with the puppet, but I think some kind of high concept short film is what made it more fun, and it was great. So then I started looking around like, what can I do to like make this happen? So then I reached out to like some local people who I could get connected with, and so We Few is like a huge great outlet. Mm-hmm. High praise for them. Daniel is great.
Daniel's been on the podcast. Same with
Daniel's great.
Sean Springer.
Yeah, both great guys. And so they got to meet them. Learning about like the film pool out here and the culture, and the community and learning about like what's going on, how do things work, what do I need to know, how can I get involved, just to learn any aspect. I mean, growing up watching it on screen, I've always loved understanding. I mean, how do they make stuff? Practicality or CGI, or like how this shot was done, or how the actor did this. I knew I loved that stuff. So I did a deep dive of that growing up as a kid, and understanding that, knowing actors' names, or oh yeah, he was in this, he played that, or oh yeah, I have a take, maybe he does better in this role than the role he done in the past, or whatever. So yeah, I got to learn from them. We filmmakers of Eastern Washington. They now have a great space called the Apple Box. Yeah, it's right next to the Garland Theater. You can't miss it. Highly recommend using that space.
Yep. Great.
You get to meet local people in town and have a good meetup spot to meet new people that are big into film or not. And they do mixers too. They do once a month mixers that are great. You get to meet local talent and actors and producers, which is great. So yeah, I went through their Facebook page. So then I just put out a blurb of like synopsis of like what it's about, what I need, acting wise, team wise, compensation if it's like reimbursement for gas or credit or food. It's all volunteer, and voice actors for it, the puppet, and it blew up. It was crazy. I had like so many people reach out and like they want to be like a PA, or hey, I love the voice, or hey, can I act? I've never done any of this stuff before. First film. So, first short film. So, yeah. So then, I had to figure out what I'm going to do with casting. Finalizing the script. Find the puppet. That's where I found Doug in you. And yeah, I casted everyone, and they're all great. Brenna White, Chase, Gavin, and Nick. They're all great actors. Very, very proud of all of them, and Ben as well. He's the star. So we had them as a team. But originally we casted Nick to play Theo in the movie last 2 days before shoot, because the one person we were having, he's a close friend of mine. I was hoping he would push himself to be an actor because I think he has some talent, at least some. I trust him, good friend, and he had a hard time showing up to the table reads, and so he just bailed last minute. So I had make a quick decision to cast someone like that, and luckily the guy we picked did great, and highly recommend him, Nick. And so then we got everyone, and then figuring out what camera I'm going to use, who's going to help me, what money do I need to spend on equipment, or food and snacks, the house we're going to be at, locations, doing all of that during all the audition process. And it was fun, finding the big house we were at was great. Thanks to Mike. He's the house owner of the Airbnb we were at, shooting there for 2 days, having 10 to 15, maybe 20 people in the house throughout those 2 days, helping us, film the scenes, and the puppeteers that are there, you, Mike, you, Doug, and Heather. And then, the week before we shot, the cemetery, the office scene, and then we shot the store, which was probably my favorite shoot, I think. Being there for 3 or 4 hours in the store and outside, and shooting where they find, the physical media, the tape with the puppet Dot in there. It was a lot of fun, and very thankful for everyone that participated, and never done like this before, ever. So it's a huge step up from doing nothing to, just that. And then, there's literally no money in film festivals, but I need to do something, because I don't know a lot of people, and film festivals are the only route to even showcase it, So I applied to 20 of them, so mainly all horror. So hopefully get some recognition for the actors, and because working on my next thing. But yeah, I met Doug through We Few. He reached out, we talked, and we helped get the puppet, and we bought it on Etsy for $250.
Yeah, which is a great deal.
And it's a real wood.
At least $1,000.
It's it's a real wood ventriloquist puppet.
Wood. They had to carve it.
Oh yeah,
they had to hand carve that.
Yeah, it's great. painted great. I like how he looks, and there were some other versions I was looking at, not from him, but from other places, and that was one that stuck out. And he's tall. He's like 3.5, 4 feet tall. Traditional ventriloquist puppet, and then just moves the mouth. The eyes don't move. Talking with Doug, like what can we do to figure out like how it'll look on camera, and what he helped me write the script a little bit to like get an idea of like what things the puppeteer or the puppet will do in the film. If he's either killing someone or talking to them or making his like little like paint, because his show is called Let's Paint with Dot, and making his like some sort of like show look realistically made from the 80s, and you were there on set, and that was a blast. I loved that.
Yeah, it was a good creepy time.
Yeah, and it's basically it. Shooting that 5 days, 20 pages. It was a blast. Yeah.
And it was a unique thing because Dot was a marionette as well at one point.
Yes, he was a marionette
so
at one
we had
point.
to engineer that with 2 sticks and 4 strings, and to make him go down the stairs, which was kind of cool, and we got that for BTS.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that was like the only time we used him as like a real marionette. Making him go up down the stairs.
Yeah,
make it look some sort of really cool look. It wasn't like the person was like behind the feet on the top going like this. It was like, and then someone holding his body. It looked great on camera. The film's done, so it's just waiting, and hopefully we get into some, and then if we don't get into any, I'm talking to the owner of the store. We'll do like a cool little screening there, or maybe do something with the Magic Lantern or the Garland Theater. Do something there. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. It's a really cool thing coming together to make a horror film. All that human energy. Oh yeah, it was great. All the actors, when they do their scenes, some who do, who knows who does die. Don't want to give spoilers. Because like all the actors, the main 4, they all got their script up until their death, so they didn't know anything else afterwards. So like with the only actor who knew everything was Ben, who plays Dot. He knows the whole script. He knows the whole script. But like with like Chase or Gavin or Brenna or Nick, they only got their script up until their death, and they didn't get anything else. So like when we did the private cast and crew screening literally a month ago, that's the first time them seeing the fullness of it, because they never knew anything else. And I wanted that, so then it looked more genuine for them, not knowing anything at the end. Like the main actor, he knew a end of the movie, but he didn't have the end of the movie. Yeah. And it turned out great, the way it came together with the collaboration, and I thought it's got some great potential. I hope that it gets into some film festivals.
Hoping some kind of buzz at least. Yeah, it's cool. There's some, Pinocchio Unstrung. I went to that. There were some similarities that were really cool to see that with puppets there. And then there's this other one that came out. It's on Screenbox. It's called Monkey's Magic Merry-Go-Round. It's like a very dark Mr. Rogers type thing, and there's puppets. It's amazingly well done. It's like an hour and a half. Some of the puppeteers from that and the lead actor from that followed our page, which was kind of cool, and it looked great. There was graphics that looked really.
Is this a new movie?
Yeah, it's only on Screenbox though. It's only in streaming.
Huh.
It looks really great. Highly recommend it. And then this other movie called Buddy, this huge orange unicorn like Barney figure. That's gonna be great. It looks great. It's like a really dark version of Barney and his show, and apparently these kids are trying to escape his his house or his like dreamscape of like where he's at, and it looks good. Yeah, he's one of the, I think the writer is from Too Many Cooks, And then some of the producers from Weapons, I think, were on it. It looks good. Comes out next month.
Nice.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing when we shot the film was shooting the puppet in his show. Mm-hmm. I think making his little set, his little chair.
Yeah.
You know, him sure. Like aggressively hitting the easel with his paintbrush. And it looks hella campy, but it's like really eerie and like, why is he aggressive with it? It looks great. And then his little cute little jingle song, you know, throughout that whole thing.
Yeah, that's funny because I remember because I was backing it because Doug was holding it and I was holding the thing and I was whack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't even because I'm not seeing what you were seeing.
Oh, it looked.
And then when I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is kind of freaking nice and creepy.
Yeah, because it's like
that. The whole thing was creepy, especially when you brought in the kid.
Yeah,
I'm like, that just took it to the next level creepiness. Like,
don't give too much away. Don't give too much away.
Okay, I won't.
Yeah. It was good though. Shooting all of it was fun, and very thankful for everyone that come on. And the little kid that's in Dot's show, Henry, he did great. Playing his role in the movie. There's some other great role he has, but I'm not gonna disclose that. But it was great. I really enjoyed filming that movie.
Well, talk about the one about St. Christopher.
Oh yeah, so I'm making that right now. We're doing like pre-production of that. It's already everyone's casted. It's just pretty soon we're gonna start doing crowdfunding for that. Yeah, you need like a good amount of money, like probably like 15, 20 grand, and maybe a little less somehow, and then we'll shoot it next year, early spring.
Do you got the shields and the swords?
I have a guy that has all that already. Yep.
Nice.
Real armor, gladius sword, real Roman helmet. Yep. And then all the costumes were already found. It's just the money we need to shoot and get permits and do it. That's literally it. And the script is done. Everyone's cast. It's just the money. That's it. And we got a great team, really. Probably some of the best actors in the area on it. The guy who's playing St. Christopher, he'll do great. The guy who's playing the Roman governor, he's going to do amazing. The person that's going to voice the devil is going to do great.
Nice.
So it's just
good. You got a voice for the devil.
Yeah, because it's in the story. So, and I don't imagine like a physical person with the saint talking to him. I imagine some kind of mist or like a ghost type thing. Like some kind of mist of a ghost. So I think a voiceover is better for that. And yeah, everyone's casted, and costumes are great. We've built some of them. Some of them. It looks great. St. Christopher costume looks really good. It looks very accurate to his story. Because it's like a tunic with sandals and a bag and him having a shawl and looking at really rough and like making it look dirty because he was a traveler. He went around. That's all. His story is great. And I'll tell his story when I shoot. I'm not gonna talk the whole story now, but I want to show on screen because his story is mainly not heavily documented through the Catholic Church. It's mainly through oral tradition and art. So, because like the only like real true documentation that's written down is his death when he was martyred, for his faith for Christ. And so he, that's it. And then up until like 12th, 14th century, this thing called the Golden Legends. It has all these oral stories or potential allegories. Most likely not that. I do believe these stories are true. And so these are all documented in this book, and his story's in there. So, and it does a really good job, detailed story of what happened. And that's accurate to like was orally passed down from like back like hundreds of years ago, because his story is around 200 AD, 200 years after Christ's death. And so it would be cool to film that, and we already found the location we want to film it at in town. Beautiful park, the river looks great. These like trailheads that look really Romanesque, and then this like Stone Age-ish huge rocks that looks like a council meeting. It's at People's Park. It's called the Salish Council Rocks. It looks great. You can find it online somewhere. So that's going to be a part of the movie as well to make it look kind of Roman. And then, because we want to use torches and, stuff like that. So we have to wait because we can't shoot now, obviously, because of, fires are really bad right now. So, and doing it then, when fire season's probably fine, is gone, and safety precautions on set and stuff, it'll look good on set. Yeah. And then that's basically what's going on with that film.
How long is it?
It's going to be 10 minutes. Short film. Highly made production of a short film to tell a story. His story is not long enough to be a real long film. It's just, I want to put it out there to showcase his story. And it's a great story.
How much are filming permits?
If you do 2 days and they're both 8 hours, $1,800.
Damn.
Just for the city. Yeah.
Damn.
And that's it. And that's like a basic. I'm not including probably stunt or, using fire or using a raft stuff. Yeah, most of the money's permits for sure. And then insurance. Who knows what that's going to look like. Mm-hmm. But I have faith in the studio that I'm trying to work with to create a budget before we do anything else and, try to promote to get the money for it. Yeah, just doing that.
Yeah, it seems that's the typical way people... Well, I'm glad you got people together.
Yeah,
and you did
it'll be fun.
Very traditionally.
Yeah, I think the team we have and the actors I have and their faith in me to make this and, very, very blessed to have the people we have on this and their belief in me,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up as a Christian in the household with parents who were either, my grandpa was Catholic, grandma was a Christian, and then my dad was, mostly Protestant growing up. But my conversion was maybe last year, almost 2 years ago, becoming Catholic. And it's great, getting closer to God in relationship with Jesus. And so, and obviously my name is Chris. So, I draw towards, St. Christopher because of my name.
Yeah.
And because, my name has weight because the name means Christ bearer. That's where the name comes from. Because originally the saint's name was Reprobus. It was that. And when the story happens, his name is changed to Christophorus or Christos. So, and that name in the Latin or Greek translates to, Christopher or Christ bearer. So I think it's important to, take a nod to that because that was the name I was given. And, being my patron saint. And so I wanted to make some sort of like historical, accurate Roman film, and just to get a flavor of like, I just did horror, obviously, and that's a different jump. It's like going to 180. Like you just did like a horror, scary film. How is that religious? I get it. It's just something I wanted to make, and that was fun, and I enjoyed it. And then now I want to do something more serious and grounded, and it's a real story. So. And, just wait and see.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really hoping this works out. Yeah.
So talk about your script writing process. What do you do?
So, there's this thing called Writer Duet. It's like, I don't know, $10, $15 a month. You could basically write the story in your notes. And then just, I don't know, copy and paste. It's like you can do like a rough draft of it, like an actor's name, who he's talking, the transition, a shot, end of scene, beginning of scene, someone who's talking, the name of the person who's dialogue. And then you just put that into that. You just copy and paste it, and it just formats it for you in a professional format. Like there's the options of like you could do the scenes, you could do like notes, you could do the actor's name, the character, the dialogue, the transition, the fade in, fade out, the shot. Stuff like that, and it looks great, like a regular real script, and that's what I use, So most of the time I look up ideas online, I'll put them in my notes, and then over time I'll just add to my notes of ideas, or if I see something on TV or a movie or a book or social media, I'll oh yeah, that's great, or see a video, just small ideas I'll just put in my notes to just amplify what I'm already making, and then just generate those ideas, and then I just start writing. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's how my writing process is. I try my best to stay away from AI. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Because when I use AI, it just
doesn't sound human.
Doesn't, and it's not as good as it's not like I would write it.
No.
But I spent a lot of time on the script, focusing on how I would make it. Like for example, yesterday I was working on a script.
Yeah.
And I had AI create the skeleton for it, essentially. Yeah. I'm like, create me a script about this topic. And it gave me the script. And I'm like, this is shit. This is horrible.
You don't even resort to that.
And I'm like, but I kind of like this, and I kind of like this portion. I like the instructional breakdown, but I didn't like the banter or the examples.
Yeah.
And I don't, and I don't really like AI for that. I mostly use it for the videos because I create the images and videos, which is pretty cool. Yeah. But we're running up on hour 15 minutes now.
Okay.
So, last two questions, book suggestions. What book suggestions do you have?
I'm trying to think what book I read recently that was good. It's called Camera Light Action. It's like this old director, like how to be an actor book. And I've read it to help understand just like basic processes of like to get into an actor's head. So then I kind of understand what the processes of like, okay, like their methods of like how they act, their mannerisms, how they're going to talk, or how they view it when they look at the screen, or their body language, or how they even think about it when they act. I like understanding that as like a director, so then I can assist them or encourage them more in the role rather than just watching and like just saying, yeah, you did good, that's great, but you could just step further than that. Be like, hey, if you do this, how does that look? Or be like, hey, try this, and try to be more comfortable and think about it like this, and then you get the best performance out of them. It's just those critiques that could help. And then you said another book or just one?
Just one.
Yeah, that was one I recommend. I don't remember what it's by. It's like Lights, Camera, Action, or Camera, Lights, Action. It's like maybe like a 200-page book that I found like at the bookstore.
And then last but not least, where can people find you?
Online, Gibson Spark Studios is my studio page on Instagram. Gibson Spark Studios, and then just my name, Chris Bruceri, online on Instagram or Facebook.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go. There you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast as much as I did. Be sure to check out all of Chris's information in the links in the video description. Be sure to comment or leave any questions in the comments below. Be sure to get back to them. Remember that sharing is greater than or equal to caring. And, subscribing is what winners do, but smashing the bell, that is what legends do. And this channel breeds legends. And I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.